Broadcasting live from the Free Speech Studios. Deep within the city of Fountain. With over 4 years of satisfying the curious mind and looking damn sexy while doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, Phantom Fact Society.
Welcome, everyone. It is I, your ginger stream of consciousness, your Dr. Frankenstein of free thought, your Timu Tim Dillon. I'm looking at you, Tim. I think that'll get us like 3 extra followers, so I'm going to ride it till it does. I am your host with the most, with special co-host joining the show. Very busy, successful business owner, manager, and father, Christopher May. Thank you so much for sparing us some time to come on the show.
Hey,
even though you
problem.
Choose to
here we
disobey the outfits that are required for this show with that horrendous Nebraska. Yep. Notice it's the blood red. The same blood red of Epstein Island's bank account bail. Did you know he had a bank account named after Molech?
No.
Yeah.
No. Doesn't surprise me, though.
Wow.
Interesting.
Now, here's the problem. If you've been
I could
following...
get a transfer into my bank account, that'd be nice.
Yes. Too late. He did that 2 days before he killed himself.
Oh, well, shit.
Here's the thing. If you follow Phantom Facts for 5 years, all of this stuff is, we covered it year one. It's all, if anything, you're just a little annoyed by how many other people are now all of a sudden just on the Epstein train. Oh my God.
Gangbusters. Yeah.
Did you know? Yes. Yes, you did. Yes. But you can't do that because this is also sort of what we wanted. We just didn't want a 3 million document dump that they've been slowly deleting ever since they released it. Have you seen this? It was like pages are slowly going down.
They're like, oh, you had your time. You had your time to read 3 million pages.
Yes. Good luck.
Yeah.
Did you go to Kinko's?
Yeah. Imagine what that bill would be like. Hey, I'm going to need you to print off this link, please.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they've
come
got
back in a week. Yeah.
Although my beautiful fiance, Naomi, who is always here in the show, but not here, because her beauty would outshine both of us, and I just can't have that.
No.
Can't. We can't do that.
This would be Naomi.
We are not a cleavage type of show. And to be honest, if we wanted a lot of followers, we would just show her and not us. So that shows we're dedicated to the cause.
Can we be a cleavage show? Can we try that?
I could try my cleavage, but I guarantee we're going to lose. We just got to 400. I don't want to lose. We just got to 400 followers. You know what happens when we get to 5? We get asked to sell our soul, and when we deny it, they ban our account. We have to start all over again. So, that's just what we do. Can you imagine if I had hopped on that train, the Trump everything's good train? That would have not worked out well. That would have been, who would have thought? You
wrote it for just a tad second, and then figured out it was all hell and just straight bullshit. So
no, that was a horrible way to live your life. Is be like It'd be like Tucker Carlson's first 20 years. Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson's now just calling out fights he wants. He's discovered what podcasters knew all along. And that was, it's just way better to have people who like you pay you.
Yeah.
Rather than a network tell you what to do. It makes you wonder, how anyone could join a news network now. I don't know how you could do it. Anyway, Epstein. It's everywhere, dude. And I sort of want to be done with it. That sounds harsh. I think what we should do is we should do a Hall of Fame of who said it first.
Ooh, yeah.
Because we can go all over the fact that the Simpsons creator was best friends with Jeff Epstein, and Bill Gates planned a pandemic with Jeff Epstein. Now, is this just dumping? Is this the conspiracy? Is that they're just wrapping it up all in a nice little bow to Jeffrey Epstein? They're like, COVID, blame it on Epstein. Bill Gates getting STDs and trying to pawn it off on his wife, blame it on Epstein.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Creator of Simpsons, predicting the future, blame it on Epstein.
Because we have to move forward. We have to move into the new digital money sucks, this and that. So yeah, you just got to tie a bow on it and prepare for the next saga.
What about cryptocurrency? Yeah. Epstein.
Yeah.
That's he's the creator of Bitcoin? Really? No. That's what it says.
Yeah.
I bet Devin feels pretty stupid right now. I always knew there was a reason I didn't invest. It wasn't because I was too dumb.
Yeah.
Or didn't see any trends, or it was because I didn't want to support. That's why I got rid of Call of Duty. Yeah. Dude, he was in Call of Duty.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was the one that encouraged Call of Duty to switch to microtransactions.
Oh.
There's a whole email chain you can read.
God, he has his fucking laws and everything.
What was the currency called in Call of Duty? Its initials.
I don't know. I haven't played
Call of Duty
so
points, or abbreviated CP.
Damn. He's not in Hell Let Loose, is he? Just checking. I didn't know.
That's just that one map where you go into the basement.
Yeah, true.
When they talk about Hell Let Loose being graphic, we're saving that for the Vietnam. We don't talk about our horrible habits here on Man of Fact.
Sorry.
We don't admit to that. Yeah. We're above that for 1 hour. But we're not. I sat here and thought of ways I could postpone this show. But in the end, we have to talk a little bit about Epstein, May, just because it's, for Christ's sakes, it was, Alex Jones became famous because he found a wing of this cabal that would party in Bohemia Grove. And from there, it led to Epstein. So Alex Jones, Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are we giving red jackets, gold jackets? What color are we giving?
I think red's a little.
Yeah.
Let's go gold.
Okay.
Fake gold. We'll go gold.
Hall of Fame color.
Hall of Fame colors. Yep. All right. So Alex Jones, first ballot Hall of Famer, and prediction of Epstein files. I did a little digging though, May, and I found out that Dan Fish. What is up, Phantom Factors? Interesting title. Let's hear about it. Banner is the show has started, so I'm going to remove that, as is tradition. Also, if you guys want to call in, you're more than welcome to tonight. It is a Friday show. So if you want to call in,
Payday in some circles.
Yes. Oh man, payday. If you're not out partying, and you're a bum, not a bum, but you're watching Phantom Facts, call in, give us your opinion. And now I hear a lot of people. It's the funniest thing. They're like, "You don't want to hear me talk freely about this." No, that's exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want. What am I supposed to do? Sit here and be like, "No, you're wrong." Now listen, if Bibi Netanyahu calls in tonight and offers me $3 million to reconsider,
Can you think about it?
I'm like I said, I'm open to all phone calls. All right, I'm open to them all. There's no judgment here at Phantom Facts. BB, call on in. Happy Friday to Jake, doing some dishes. Enjoying hearing y'all. GBR, which I imagine stands for
Go Big Red.
Man, it's nice to have you on once a month.
First of all, he's doing dishes. So
What a man. What a man.
Is the dishwasher broken?
Okay.
Are she in casts? What happened?
That's you're getting on the verge of a Trump morning tweet. You know, if Trump had only watched my morning poop video, he would have realized that tweeting anything before 6 a.m. is a horrendous idea.
Yeah, probably.
Did you see what his tweet was this morning, May?
Oh, no.
Why don't you go gander at that while we take a quick musical interlude at Trump's morning tweet. We'll play a little of Trailer Tommy by the Pick and Dickens.
Just a young one, not more than 23. And old Tommy met at Memphis 503. He was from the swampland and I was from the hills, and we both found out we liked smoking behind the trailer wheels. Tommy light me a strong one, Tommy smoke a green one, Tommy roll a timber and send me on my way. Way up north the days are cold and heaters barely heat. Plants don't grow and lizards die and dogs are stuck inside. And if you had a ball that was dry, old Tommy, he didn't mind. He'd just light a swisher sweet and help you on your feet. Tommy light me a strong one, Tommy smoke a green one, Tommy roll a timber and send me on my way. Tommy light me a strong one, Tommy smoke a green one, Tommy roll a timber and send me on my way.
Oh, Tommy Pickens, or Trailer Tommy in the Pick and Dickens. Just love that. Dishwasher turned blower.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I've never heard of that kitchen instrument. Never saw that on an Alton Brown Good Eat show.
No.
But
what's it cost? What color does it come in?
Oh, I bet they're expensive.
Yeah.
But it's spendy.
All I'm seeing on his Twitter is shit about
well, here's the
documentary.
Here's the thing, May. He deleted it.
Oh.
Now, have you ever known El Presidente to delete a tweet?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
What do you think he tweeted? Now, quit looking. I found it. I'll show it. I'll show it to you. All right. What? I just curious.
Good morning, pussies.
What do you think? Now it involves the wonderful previous first family, the Obamas.
Ooh.
Right. What possibly could he have tweeted?
His balls probably touched the water, and he's like, "Ooh, this is what Big Mike feels like."
All right. Well, I mean, that is you know what? You would think that.
I would.
You would think that, but you're gonna be shocked. You'll be shocked here. I'm gonna play the tweet. This is the entire tweet. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. This goes on. I can't even do it. It goes on for another 30 seconds. Now,
there's no way. I mean, that's fantastic.
Can you describe to all of our listeners right now what exactly did he tweet? Because to them, the audio listeners, they are imagining a wonderful song. I'm sure some of them remember this from The Lion King
or Ace Adventure. So close your eyes here.
Okay. Do I need to? I'll put the music on low.
Two big gorillas. I'm gonna let you guess which gorilla is bigger. That would be Big Mike is up front, and Little Obama's in the back. And they just got shit-eating smiles wide open, catching flies with their mouth, and they're just kind of dancing to the song.
I do think it's fun. Now, supposedly AI generated this. It is interesting that Big Mike is indeed bigger than Obama.
Yeah, Big Mike's the silverback gorilla, and Obama is he looks like a monkey that just got out of hibernation.
This is why we do not tweet. This is why we do not tweet at 6 a.m. in the morning while we're taking our morning poo.
Was he pooing or rubbing one out?
Now, well, according to the Epstein files, I mean, he's all over that too. So, maybe I think it's funny that, like Epstein wanted, sort of like a trafficking mob war going on between the Clintons traffickers and spirit human sacrificers and the good old Bush and Clinton child sacrificers, and there was sort of a competition between the two. And so, the whole Pizzagate thing, that was started by Epstein to show light on the Hillary side of human trafficking. Marina Abramovic. Wait, see, they were too serious. I think Epstein wanted to party and do the Aleister Crowley stuff the fun way. Marina Abramovic, she's, she only wants to do the, absolutely horrendous stuff that Epstein also did. But anyway, that's Trump's tweet this morning. Not to get too sidetracked there.
I'm gonna have to turn on the notifications when Big Boy sends out a tweet.
That's so obviously first reaction to how the nation took the on national news. May I just throw out there mixed reviews? You think?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
I'm sure I'm sure a good half of America probably thought it was funny.
Well, none of the news stations, I think, defended it. Yeah, I would say none of the news. Now, of course, at the morning presser, I wonder if I could find that video. I should have looked for it. The defense was that the president thought it was hilarious that this was a clip from The Lion King, and since he is now king, which, of course, the song is played in The Lion King.
Yeah.
As we all know, by Timon and Pumbaa. However, this particular scene, I don't
remember it, but I mean, I was such a young child when it was out, so I have to rewatch it.
Well, there are Disney adults out there that could figure that out for us, and indeed they did. They did figure it out, and it was not in The Lion King, and after that it was deleted.
It wasn't in the director's cut? No, on the back of the VHS tape?
No. Well, I have to ask Disney. See, if we had a press badge, we could ask the important questions here. Lobo Fish saying, I thought the video showed a bunch of people on animals, not just the Obamas. No, not according to my research. Not according to my research, it was just the Obamas dancing. Now, I could be wrong. And if that's the case, please share the link, Lobo. Let me know. Because this is one of the. This is just he doesn't care. He doesn't care. You know, it's out there.
Do you have any of the comments?
Oh my god.
Or no? I mean, you know,
Well,
if you don't, it's okay.
No. I'm just saying. I'm scared.
Oh yeah.
To see. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find the full.
I mean, just a 6 a.m. poop or
all I see is just. Okay, so he's playing it no, it's just the Obamas dancing. I mean, there's a clip before it where it shows right where Joe Biden, you know, his polling number or his, you know, voting numbers shoot through the roof. And then right at that point in the documentary, it pauses and it shows what we saw, which is indeed the Obamas dancing. That's my, you know, this is a person that, let's see here. Whoopi Goldberg was a jackal and Whoopi Goldberg was the original hyena, I think. And someone was on a pig. Well, I mean, God damn it, we need to find this.
Yeah.
We need to find this link. Offensive overreaction. I'm going to say, I'm not going to, you know, I saw a post that perfectly summed it up for me. And it said, never worrying about Disney replacing a white actor in the movie Tarzan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, and really that's what it comes down to. It's just you don't show black people heads on monkeys. You know, it's just poor taste. Now, so is auctioning off girls by the length of their, you know. So
yeah, true.
I guess this is pretty low.
Tomato, right?
Tomato here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all. That's been the talk all day. No one's talked about Epstein. They've just been talking about.
Now I need to see the whole thing. That's kind of.
Yeah, if you can find the link, if we can find, there's got to be a link out there. We got the research team on it. We'll check it out. This episode brought to you by American Spirits, the only pure cigarette. On stolen land, these cigarettes were made. And if you want to, you can contact Billie Eilish about that.
Hell yeah.
All right, can we talk about Chapel Roan? Just you know,
her dress.
Let's collect ourselves. Think about what we're going to say. We're going to take a little intermission here. And we got a couple songs we want to play, and then we got to talk about Chapel. Oh, chap. Oh, chappy.
I got my ball to my butthole, yeah. Oh, my God. What did I do? I can't take a dump, 'cause now my balls are blocking up my butthole. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Good God, I pulled too hard. Now my scrotum's stretched out like a fucking yard. Oh, God. Watching her man use a butter knife, face down, ass up, try and saw off his sack. Oh baby, fucking please just take me back. I grew my balls to my butthole, baby. Oh my God.
Don't you know the world is built with blood and genocide and exploitation? The global network of capital essentially functions to separate the worker from the means of production. And the FBI killed Martin Luther King. Private property's inherently theft, and neoliberal fascists are destroying the left. And every politician, every cop on the street protects the interests of the pedophilic corporate elite. That is how the world works. Really? That is how the world works.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got a name, I got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I got a name, I got a name. And I carry it with me like my daddy did, but I'm living the dream that he kept hid. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Like a north wind whistling down the sky, I got a song, I got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the babies cry, I got a song, I got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Change their minds, but they can't change me. I got a dream, I got a dream. Oh, I know I could share it if you want me to. If you're going my way, I'll go with you. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Thank you very much.
Oh, you just can't go wrong with Jim Croce. You know what I mean? You just can't. All right.
All right, I found it.
You did?
Yep.
All right. All right, we'll get back to you, Chapel. Don't you go anywhere. All right, we'll put it where you remember how to send it to me here. Or share it.
Okay. Share it.
You remember where you just click on the bottom, present. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. Let's see. Damn it! Come on, you can do this.
You got it. You got it. We're almost there.
Share
Listen, we
it.
waited a long time. We can wait another fucking 30 seconds for it. I'm fine with it. We're out here to get the full Phantom Fact. which is, okay.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Wow.
In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps
That is oh, you gotta shut it off. We can hear it still. Oh, that's funny. Thank you for finding that, May.
Hell yeah.
That's one of the funniest. So it was indeed not just only Big Mike and Barry, Bathroom Barry.
Yeah, bathroom.
It was so much more. And really, I don't think he can delete it. I think Spike Cohen has established that several times over with public officials deleting stuff on their accounts. So expect a lawsuit. And for that to be back to public domain in the record so that 3,000 years from now, they can look back on the American civilization and say, this is what broke it.
Mm-hmm.
Lobofish comments, I think that it was pretty dang funny.
Yep.
They were the only people who were not in The Lion King. All the other characters there were accurate.
Yeah.
It's like he wrote AI. Can you make all the losers in The Lion King the Democrats? And add donkeys for AOC and Chuck Schumer, because that makes sense.
Make sure fucking
that's a like a detailed prompt. I want Big Mike to be a big silverback dominating gorilla. And I want Bathroom Barry in the back, slouched over, feeling very submissive and happy, protected by Big Mike. Big Mike has to be huge.
Yeah.
It has to be. They had to crop it out.
Yeah.
They added.
Joe Biden just deep throats that banana too.
He was.
I would love to just see him. He's sweaty. He's trying to get this poop unstuck, and he's just typing away on the old phone.
Now, according to the Epstein files, they said that Joe Biden was executed in 2019. And then an actor had been paying his role since then.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked by that.
Isn't that fun? They were quite the conspiracy theorists too. Oh, that's right. They just planned the conspiracies. I forget.
Yeah.
Big difference. All right.
And that one with the Biden, I mean, there was a lot of times, I mean, it all can be doctored, but the whole masks and the angles and the different looks over the years of his face and his eyebrows and everything. So, I mean, colored me shocked.
Is Epstein the release now? Is that the distraction?
Ooh. Distraction from what, though?
It just feels like a distraction, people.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, goddamn it. I love knowing that the Simpsons were tied into the creator of Bitcoin, which was Jeffrey Epstein, I guess. I mean, come on. It's juicy. It's today's TMZ. It will be for at least 3 months. It's going to be nonstop. Naomi knows someone that's entered this into AI and is creating a website for a search engine for it. And it won't be ready till March 10th. That's how long it takes for it to go through all these documents.
Damn.
3 million plus. Yeah. And all it is is TMZ. Anyone going to get arrested for it? Nope.
No.
The worst that's going to happen is like, well, it was going to the Epstein Island. You know, I don't know what he did. Supposedly it was a charity.
No, because we'll end up talking about, the United States buying fucking Alberta or whatever in Canada, and then Greenland or Iceland, and it'll be old news. Everybody will be outraged that, so.
The great distraction of 25. Although I will say there is an interesting subplot to it.
Yeah.
A little interesting. I don't think anyone really realized how big the juice box thing was until these Epstein files have been released, and it is all Goyim this, Goyim that, Jew superior race. Do DNA testing. Anyone that tests above 80% Jewish is going to be extremely smart. Put them in charge of this, put them in charge of that. Insane the amount of racism there is. Now, you could say all Jews, but we know better.
Yeah.
We know. It's the Jewish mafia. And that's why everything is now what did I see? It was let me go back here. We'll get to you, Chapel. Don't you worry. Get to Chapel. What was this thing I saw? It was like the top 10 signs that
You're a Jew?
No, god dang it. That Epstein worked for Russia.
Oh.
Yeah. And all it was all of the emails in which he claimed to work for Rothschilds and Mossad. But that's, Poland's coming out and they're like, we're not going down that path again. Can't go down that path again. God damn it. Poland's like, we've just been a country for 200 years, god damn it.
Yeah.
Then they took it from us. Now we got it back. And he wants to go against the Jews again. We've been down that road before.
Yeah. Well,
no, sir.
See ourselves out. Nope.
It was the Russians. Yeah.
Poland's just eyes, hand over eyes, just looking down.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
We'll jump in if you do.
Yeah. The
Poor
water's
Poland.
warm. Come on. The water's warm.
The vodka tastes pretty good over here. I don't know to say it. Poland. You know what'll happen is they'll get it wrong, and someone will come and destroy them. It's just what's going to happen to the poor Poles, the poor Polish people. Great hot dogs. What were we gonna? Oh yes, that's right. This was last week's distraction, and I don't even know. You saw this, I'm sure, May. Right? This was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Look at that. What I mean, we're doing dresses now. Oh, we can't zoom in on this. You won't let us zoom in. All right. Well, I think we can all see. For our audio listeners, do not, of course, don't look this while driving. But Miss Chapel Roan is wearing a dress literally being held up by her nipples.
Yes. Yep.
This is, I remember 15 years ago when Justin Timberlake ripped off and we saw a nipple and CBS got sued. So much so that we had to endure 20 years of 90-years performing at music at Super Bowls. Our generation was punished for Justin Timberlake and Paula Abdul.
No,
we couldn't have any cool hip music artists, God forbid. And now, 15 years later, we got Miss Titties out. Yeah. Literally, it is a blanket being held up by 2 nipple rings.
Yep.
And I mean, they're not even nice. Now, far be it from me to be a judge on the female anatomy, but
I mean, what's the long-term effect from hanging your dress from your nipples? I mean, do those things turn it to be like 6-inch pacifiers, at the end of the night?
God forbid someone step on your dress.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bad day. I can't imagine. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's need to just step on my dress, baby.
Yeah.
Step on my dress. Harder.
Yeah. I mean, Big Pony Club, it's not a bad song.
It's I personally fan of the GOTTO, whatever it is, HOTTOGO. But she did choose Kansas City as one of her 3 concert venues. It was New York, Kansas City, and then LA. Yes. So, and they hosted her at the World War I Memorial.
Interesting.
Which, in retrospect, I guess that is what they fought for. So maybe an ironic self-slap there.
Yeah.
I mean, when do men get these rights? When can George Clooney show up with 2 nipple rings chained down, holding a piece of cloth over his dick? Like, if
I'm sure he could, but a lot of them probably don't have balls anymore. So, what's the point?
I'm just saying. I did consider that for today's outfit.
Yeah.
It was a possibility. I was going to have 2 nipple rings holding up my dress.
Hell yeah.
But we could not.
We cannot wear dresses as men until we sell our souls.
See, I'm not doing that for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely not.
No.
Steven Crowder did it for free. How embarrassing.
I mean, Dave Chappelle said it. You don't do it for free.
No, you don't do that shit for free. You make them pay for it. Which, BB, come on my show. Just talk. Let's talk about what was your favorite Philly sandwich when you were in high school?
We need to reach out to his people.
Yeah, it's a good call. Do you think Jewish people accept people converting to Judaism who were not born to Jewish parents? I've heard they allow people to convert to the faith, but then some say it is a blood thing. I looked into becoming a Jew 8 years ago. And to this day, I still get letters asking for money from the Shalom Temple in Colorado Springs, which is what an amazing email service for that not to go straight to spam.
Yeah. What are they paying for? Yeah.
It's just, it was, because here was my thing, right? I wanted to go back to the OG, before Christianity, the people that believed in the old books only.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did some research, and some said that you could, ask and they would tell you no several times. But if you persisted, they would allow it. But you would never be considered, you would be a second-tiered Jew. You would get 5% off, but it's only 5% off. You know what I mean? You're not going to get that 20. Never. And so that's not why I wanted to do it. I would never want to put any of my family through a Jewish heritage, God forbid. But I was just sort of curious about because there's a whole mystical wing to, there's like secular Jews like Jon Stewart. And then we thought Jeffrey Epstein was a secular Jew, a guy that was just Jewish by descent only. But it turns out not the case. Big fan of Bloodline. bloodline. And I think that's interesting. Like, that's sort of... Now, I know, according to the law that was passed in Congress, this is illegal to say, but it's a little it's a little Nazi-ish. It's a little Nazi-ish. The Nazis did sort of do the same thing.
They 23andMe to everybody, and hey, you're this, you go to the left. You're that, you go into that oven.
We pay this, we pay that, Not that I'm not saying they're not that. I'm just saying that the ones that are in the mob think they are way better than the goy slop, quotation marks, the goyim. Listen, I'm all for the movement 110, and we will talk about that at some point in time, but I'm just saying it's a little unnerving that we get one mob and the government allows us one mob to rule the United States. Well, essentially, they corporatized all the mobs. They went to the Italians and they're like, listen, we'll pay you off. You'll be taken care of. Your family will be taken care of. You'll get to be politicians. I'm telling you, Schumer, this is the life, right? And the Italians said, okay. And then they went to the Irish, and the Irish said, I don't know. And so then they just beat the Irish into submission. And then they went to, this culture and this culture, and and they bought them all off. And the only ones left were the Jewish mob. And they said, well, let's make a deal. And that's what, and Kennedy said, no, you get to go too.
Yes.
And they said, no, you get to go. All right. So, and it's been hell ever since. So that's why, I always play that one song at the beginning, Battle Cry for Freedom, because, I believe in the ideal of the Constitution. I believe it is one of the most amazing documents ever, but it hasn't been adhered to in years. They say they adhere to it, and then they have like these private, court sessions where all the decisions are made, and then they go and sacrifice a couple kids on St. Jude Island or St. James, Little St. James, Nickelodeon. On Nickelodeon Island, they go and sacrifice a bunch of kids, and then they turn around and try to get Hillary elected president. I mean, what? They couldn't even succeed at that. How many kids do you have to sacrifice in order to get Hillary Rodham Clinton elected president? Because obviously it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. They had to go to Ukraine.
Really?
They had to start a whole war to Ukraine. They're like, we're not enough kids.
They're not dumb enough here. Yeah.
They go to the witch, and it's like, hey, listen, you're gonna have to hire a staff for me. I can't do all these executions. My arms are tired.
Yes. My tongue is tired. Too many spells.
Yes. Yeah, not good. Yeah. All right. Epstein stuff over, right? We talked about Chappell Roan, closing the book on Epstein. Another person to add on to the Hall of Fame, Michael Jackson.
Oh.
In 2002, stood on a bus in London and told the world that the head of his record company that he owned 50% of share in worked with the devil and was part of a conspiracy, and that he was leaving that record label. He owed them 2 more songs. I think I've got a clip here. Pull it up here. Give me a second. Oh, yeah.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil. I'm not supposed to say what I'm going to say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret. Say it. Please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Turn that off, please. No, what? I don't mind. Tape it.
Oh! Marco is getting gangsta today!
Mariah Carey. After divorcing Tony, came to me crying. She was crying so bad I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones. And he's very, very evil. And she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being. And we have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
Now, I give a little context. What was the record company? I had it pulled up.
I'll look.
Yes, but the record company he was assigned to, he owed them at this point 2 more songs, and then he was contractually his obligation was done. And at the time of his leaving, what Michael Jackson had done was procured half of the company's shares. So he owned half of the company that he was about ready to leave. He technically Elon Musk. What Elon Musk did to Twitter, he essentially did under their noses.
Oh. Was it
Was it Sony? It was Sony.
Yeah.
He owned Sony Music, essentially.
Yeah, because he founded MJJ Music in '93, subsist of Epic Records, which is a part of Sony Music Entertainment.
He became the distributor of all Sony, I believe, is how it worked out. I mean, James, I'll have to ask James, a fan of the show, but he's got a great concept on the connections in the music industry at that time. But essentially, Michael Jackson had outmaneuvered them legally and now owned Sony Music. I mean, he didn't own all, but 50% of a company is ownership of a company.
Yes.
And that, that's how he bought the Beatles. That's how he owned all of the music. Think about that. All of the music that they use in everything, movies, production, commercials, Michael Jackson was raking in on. He had outmaneuvered the Jewish mafia. Michael Jackson had done the impossible and fulfilled his contract as they had asked of him. What more?
Yeah.
They made billions off of Michael Jackson. He didn't pull a Tay-Tay and relabel his music.
He sure didn't, no.
He fulfilled his obligation like a man.
Which was smart on his idea, on his side, though. I mean, work the bigger picture on the back, fulfill what you need on the front end, and then smack them with it when it's all done. They're not going to know which way's up.
Michael Jackson, I think, deserves to go in the knew it before anyone else called it Hall of Fame, just because. I mean, the guy was taking care of kids that were being dumped off by the system after they were used.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson, rest in peace. All right, now that's it. I did promise no more Epstein talk. I just feel like, Hall of Fame stuff, that's what are you supposed to do there? All right. I do have one conspiracy. Are you doing good on time? You got to get going here?
No, I'm good.
No, you're busy.
I'm good.
You're sure? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We discussed that. Yes. What? Can we see that shirt? Can we see that beautiful pullover fleece? Now, I'm
It's not
sure
hanging from my nipples, but
it was on discount, I'm sure.
ouch.
How much did you pay for that?
I didn't. It was a Christmas gift from
See,
Santa.
that's
Because Santa's a Nebraska fan.
that's Santa's a discount fan. Well, Nebraska's on the news
Hell
for
yeah.
being Nebraskan. Now, they've done it to Scott Frost, and that's a sports reference. But for everyone else, here we go. Here we go. Nebraska lawmakers vote to reduce minimum wage for workers under 20.
Ouch.
This is so, about 10 years ago, they all got together and voted, like said, hey, minimum wage at $6.25, not cutting it for anyone here in Nebraska anymore. We're going to have to up it. And so the government said, fine, we're going to do it at like $2 for 30 years, whatever it was. And so they, kept their word. And now it's 2026. Time is up. And instead of following through on a petition taken last year to continue it as it has been going, as inflation has increased, and the petition passed, they put the petition out. They took it to the vote for the entire state of Nebraska, and it passed. Now Nebraska lawmakers have said, well, you know what? We'll do it, but we'll do it for everyone who's above the age of 20. If you're 18 to 20 or younger, then it's only this much an hour, $13.50.
I mean, is that a terrible thing? I mean, unless you're living, I guess, on your own. But I mean, I don't know. That's interesting, though.
Now, well, it is interesting, right? Because if you're a libertarian, you don't believe there should be any minimum wage. Like, that shouldn't exist. It should just be free trade no matter what.
Yeah.
Problem with that is you get into coal mines, and then people are buying stuff at company stores, and they can't leave without getting shot by the company. So that's unfortunate. So we can't have that. Can't have that. So, but on the other hand, do you want the government saying, hey, you're 18-year-old, you have to pay him. You have to pay him. Now, let's say this 18-year-old has been, I mean, I don't understand. We're letting if a Democrat had come out and set this law and said, we're making a law that anyone under the age of 20, I don't know why they gotta be New York, has to, you pay them $5 less than what you would pay an adult male. And we would cry of socialism. We'd be like, well, that's the most socialist thing I have ever heard. Oh, we're setting wages now. Before you know it, we're going to be telling old people they have to work for free.
You missed your boat. You should have saved. Now you are fucked. But I can't move my hands.
But
Too bad, Sally.
I'm just saying, since it's people. Now, who do you think wants to not pay workers? We talked about them last week. I'm going to say that there's some big production plants out there that ship in a bunch of 13-year-olds, and God forbid they got to pay them $20 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's not even that. It's $15 an hour unless you're 20 and younger.
Yeah.
Then it's $13.50.
Yeah. What would that help with bringing in? You bring in all those, mystery underage workers that you flood these, like I think you said, last week with Tyson and all these meat packing plants and produce plants and all this other shit. Half those people are underage, illegal, fucking, whatever. And I don't know. Trying to save a buck now on the back end?
I mean, they, of course, always use the example of the poor farmer in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Who his poor boys, if he puts them to work out in the farm, Well, now he's got to pay taxes on their labor, which is Nebraska's fault. You have to pay taxes. That's not your kid's fault, right? But to ease that, instead of claiming $15 an hour on your boys, well, by George, we're going to give you an 8% decrease and make it $13.50. Because we love the farmer and the farmer boys. Meanwhile, we know that's not. Whenever they use kids as an example to pass a law, it's never about the kids.
No.
In fact, if anything, it's so that they can abuse some sort of kids in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And we know Nebraska loves shipping in kids to pay off their coyotes by having them cleaning the Tyson plant late at night. You talk to any person that works at Smithfield, Tyson, they all look at you and they say this. Well, they tell us they're legal. That's what they say. I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm sorry. I'm not yelling. It's just I'm not used to having you here again, May. I get worked up.
Right. So I get it. Get worked.
It's
Get
just
worked.
I mean, listen to this woman. Right? I said it last week.
Don't touch the nannies or the gardeners or the ones who are picking up the jalapeno peppers or the oranges or the berries or the ones in the dairy houses. Come on. Those people are helping us eat better, cheaper homes, cheaper vegetables, and better fruits. So those are the ones that we are trying to give a dignified status.
Could you hear all that?
But don't touch the nannies or the gardeners or the ones who are picking up the jalapeno peppers or the oranges or the berries or the ones in the dairy houses. Come on. Those people are helping us eat better.
What are we
need
doing?
those people. Yeah, I don't want to pay a white woman that.
How much do you want to pay for your jalapeno poppers? Let the slaves pick some food.
Yeah, come on.
Listen to her.
Yeah, cheaper homes, cheaper vegetables, and better fruits. So those are the ones that we are trying to give a dignified status.
Dignified status. Listen, you're a slave.
Yes.
But we appreciate. Can you imagine?
What do? I'm a slave. Ooh. A jalapeno slave? No, strawberries.
If you're in any form of construction, you've seen the slaves.
Yeah.
You've seen the slaves. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do not touch or illegal immigrant nannies, gardeners, or veg pickers.
Maria Salazar. Representative Maria Salazar. Do not touch our
I
illegal.
didn't see, but who will pick the cotton?
Yeah. This is what I've been saying. I mean, in the end, the Democrats are still fighting for slaves.
Yeah.
They are. And not to say the Republicans aren't. We're not saying that. God forbid. We know they do it too. But we're just saying. These guys are fighting for second slaves. All right.
Yeah.
But
they make you feel good about it. You know, they make it turn around like it's going to benefit them. Oh, well, they're fighting for us to be slaves. What'd you just say? Slaves?
Yes. Yeah.
But we get cheap house, free internet.
Technically, we're the best provided for slaves in this generation.
Hell yeah.
We are. Well, there's no better slaves. There's no better slaver system that treats their slavers with respect, like the American slaver trade, like Tyson Foods. You know, what other slaver would migrate a whole thousands of people, hundreds of miles, and give them free wait. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And a bunch of gift cards to a company store. To Walmart. To government. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Did you see that something about chips going down 15% since they've been taken off of SNAP?
No. The prices of chips?
Yeah.
I thought it was because they supposedly got rid of all the yucky stuff out of them.
No. It's because people can't buy them on food stamps anymore. And so now those chips are like 99 cents a bag versus, $5.50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going back to the good old days.
I'm just saying. Let's bring it back. All right. So we did, we got anything else? Anything else pressing? Anything else you want to talk about, May?
No?
No?
No. Aren't the Olympics? Aren't they're starting? Have started? You big into that?
Well, speaking of Olympics, I think we should induct our Goldest of the Gold Jacket member into the Epstein I Told You So memoriam.
Hell yeah.
Before we go any further, we have to talk about, this is by far the most important one. This is Karen Mulder in 2001, May. In 2001, this Dutch supermodel told the world in an listen, you just gotta listen to this. We'll pull this up here. We'll pause it here. I think maybe here we go.
Assaulted her or sold her to be assaulted. This list would include royalty, politics,
All right,
the
so
world. Goes on a talk.
She goes on a talk show in France in 2001. Just a little fluff piece. And she has one shot to get this right. And she nails it.
Talk show. She, Karen Mulder, frantically starts name dropping everyone that had either assaulted her or sold her to be assaulted. This list would include royalty, politicians, cops, and her own family. But before she'd be done getting through that list, she'd be taken off the stage and eventually put into a psych ward, paid for by the very person she claimed started selling her in the first place. Her agent and owner of Elite Paris, the man who signed her at just 15 years old, Gerald Marie, who, by the way, would be prosecuted years later with an insurmountable amount of rape and sexual assault claims, only for the case to be closed in 2023 due to France's statute of limitations, which could have been avoided if anyone in the French courts had taken her seriously at the time she reported them, because yes, she did report them. And if that wasn't enough, I have something even more infuriating. One of the names she dropped during that talk show was Jean-Luc Brunel. He was an Epstein associate who was found dead in his cell in 2022. He was jailed on suspicion of rape and trafficking of minors. Sorry, hold on. After Karen's 2001 interview, numerous publications would come out claiming that she was going through a psychotic episode. Her parents would publicly blame this outburst on drugs, and her sister Saskia would go on that same talk show just to discredit her sister, which may sound surprising, but remember, part of her desperate plea for someone to listen and do something included the abuse she endured in her childhood. So it's safe to say Saskia was also a victim. It's complicated, but it fueled the media and it fueled the tabloids to call her crazy, and she tried to take her own life in 2002. Thankfully, she survived, and she'd returned to that same talk show to confront the host, heard this desperate plea, pulled her from air, and then deleted the tape. So the video of her speaking her truth would be scrapped altogether. The reason that we know this exists is because of his testimonies in the tabloids, hers, and audience members. Everyone called her crazy until the Epstein case started coming out. I read someone here on TikTok, female influencer with a lot of followers, comment once on a video and say that human trafficking was like the new satanic panic. I remember it had a lot of likes, and I was so disturbed then, and I'm even more disturbed. That comment lives in my head when I read this story, because that interview could have saved 20 years of children. 20 years. Then to be put in a psych ward by the very man who first did it, who, by the way, was the ex-husband of Linda Evangelista. Feel free to go down that rabbit hole. This isn't satanic panic. This is real. And the idea of it being satanic panic, like this huge, silly conspiracy everyone's talking about, is actually so destructive. And I feel like
The way that they just canceled her and hushed her,
Threw her into a
put her
mental,
away. Yeah.
threw her into a mental institution, discredited her forever. Got her own sister to come on.
Yeah. And just shit all over her.
Well, who knows what her sister went through or what threats she went under.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she saw what happened to her sister. So Karen Mulder, the OG, went through a lot of shit for it too. And I think that's the thing when it comes to these Epstein files, that I think, you know, when we went through it, we were, you know, the Aleister Crowley and the basis of the belief that built up to this point
Mm-hmm.
of the, you know, the cabal and Jewish belief and all this stuff. 5 years ago, we've been talking about this.
All the foundation pouring.
Yeah, all of it. And like now we sort of have a dark humor about it because we got a little numbness to it because we've been we know. And it's, you know, it's like people who've been at war and they see dead bodies, and then, you know, 5 weeks later they're high-fiving the dead bodies and calling them names and giving them stories. It's just a coping mechanism at this point. You know, for the you know, like you look at Alex Jones, that guy looks burnt out, bro. He just you don't want to do conspiracy. He's done. And he can't go anywhere because he's got $1 billion being held over his head at all times. So you got to go. Now he's a slave. Yeah. Straight up slave. He called it out, and at the last moment got sucked in. And
that's
so
the worst too, because you create something to go against it and to open everyone's eyes, and then, you know, they flip it, and now you are a part of it, and you are, until you die, you're a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, hopefully that never happens to this show without, you know, probably I'll end up getting sued for $1 billion and, you know, whatever, you know, good luck.
Yeah.
I'll bring you my couch. Yes. Have fun. You want the ring?
Yeah. Go take it.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, but the thing is people like Karen Mulder remind you how bad it was and what these, you know, what these women, these girls went through. A lot of them abused, taken from orphanages with the promise of hope of making something of themselves, only to just turn around, be sucker punched, and realize it's never good. The side of the world they get to see will never be good.
Nope.
And that's I think that's, you know, or you know, you got slaughtered for some sacrifice. And then, you know, on the other side, you've got the Podestas, the Clintons, and the Obamas. You know, both parties, both of them killing and doinking kids.
And they're looked at as, you know, these almighty, awesome, you know, figures, which is insane. You know what I mean? Like those people are put on the highest pedestal, and, you know, you
and a message
dare to lift up the rug. It's you know, it's insane.
And
but
message,
it's also what you get put down our throats too, right? You get jammed with it, and you think, you know, you get that tunnel vision or whatever, and there's no getting out of that.
And also a message to like all Democrats who sit here and are gloating about Trump being a pedophile. How come your party wouldn't release that in 2015?
Yeah.
Why didn't they release any? I mean, he was prosecuted back in 2006, 2007. Marco Rubio had the information. Jeb Bush had the information. Why didn't you release it?
Yeah, you are right. Why not? That's the silver bullet. Why?
Well, it's just anyone that wants to hightail a political party morally above the situation, you are brainwashed, good sir, because the rulers of these political parties knew it or were doing it. And you can clip that because that's exactly what they were doing. They were just as implicit as the rest of them. Mm-hmm. So maybe instead of fighting over Big Mike and Bathroom Barry dressed up as gorillas, we just realize it's all a show to get us to forget that they're all creeps.
Yeah.
Creeps in control of your children's education. Ghislaine's Maxwell dad control McGraw-Hill?
Yeah.
He taught you? No, what? We always ask, well, why didn't I learn how to do taxes and how to do this and all that? Well, it's because Ghislaine's Maxwell's dad thought you were a filthy goyim and wanted to make sure you were dumb so that they could make money off of shipping routes while you played on Robinhood.
Yeah.
That's who taught our kids for the last 40 years. So none of these people are good.
No.
I mean, there should be, and here's the thing, I'm worried about this. Does Trump finish presidency, or is this the attempt to flush him out? J.D. Vance swoops in and he gets 2.5 solid years to just bomb the crap out of Iran, Syria, Jordan, Venezuela, Mexico. Is this the plan? Trump was the Trojan horse that pushed in the military-industrial complex, and they're going to use the Epstein files to fuck us again. That's what's going to happen. They're going to try it. I guarantee you, they are going to try it.
Because what else have they got left? That makes perfect sense. Damn, that sucks.
Yes.
That sucks.
Well,
do you think we're waking up slowly, enough? I don't think it'll ever be enough, because it'll, like many people, if we come together, that old mindset, if we come together, we're unbeatable. But I think it's too much doctoration that will never fully come together. So, we will always be pointed blue versus red, but at the end of the day, it's what, purple? Is that what you get when you mix those two colors? That's who wins, Like you said, you either knew about it or you are a part of it. You're still, it's not which side or the other. It's you were all in it together no matter what, and you did nothing about it. You just kept either turning the other cheek or kept just taking a deep breath in and sticking it in. So,
what do you? So what's your question? You think?
I don't think there's I don't think there's an outcome that's gonna please. I won't be surprised if it's just like you said, where Trump is the Trojan horse, and that is the next chapter that we live in for the next fucking God knows how long.
20 years. 20 years. Well, I wish I could be a bearer of better news, but I think that is exactly where this. Now, here's the thing. And I look to Russia as an example, even though you'll hear a lot of anti-Semites, and I do call them anti-Semites because they view every single person with a Jewish blood cell in them as evil. But they do say that it was a Jewish ideology of Marxism and socialism that overtook Russia and created the revolution. Now, of course, the monarchy is mad about that because the Jews took away a country from them. Bad Jews, not the Rothschild Jew. I don't know. I'd have to dig into that. However, Stalin then turned around 30 years later and killed them all, and killed a bunch of other people. And now what emerged from that is is a Russia that is independent of all of this nonsense. It's independent of all the Jew mafia. I mean, they got the Russian mafia, but guess what? It's Russia. It's
I
not
would
some
take
other
an American
country.
mafia.
Hey, Bowery boys, come knock on my door and let me pay dues. I get it.
So is that what? So we need a Russian reset?
Well, I'm just saying that is the only example in the last 500 years that has become independent from superpower to independent of it. They were a superpower and they removed it from themselves. Now, it took 70 years and 20 million dead people to get to that point. So when people say they want it to get to that point, I think we also have to recognize that that's what it takes to get to that point.
Yeah.
And can you stomach that? Do you want to see 20 million people? Do you want to see archipelagos? Do you want to see detention camps? Do you want to see journalists get locked up? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with that, then I don't know. Like, I don't think that's good.
No.
I don't think that's good. But at the same time, there's
not
has to
a
be
medium to it, though.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of, nationalism.
Yeah.
You have to be proud to be American, proud that your computer parts are made in America, engineered by American physicists, and the things we couldn't get figured out. We made deals with other countries and provided them the best damn corn or pigs in order to receive that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It was when we turn into like, hey, you won't buy the dollar, even though according to the Epstein emails, we have $0 inside Fort Knox. We're going to go there and bomb you. See how much you like your gold bricks then. I'm tired of that, man. I'm tired.
That's
of
our only threat.
Yes, that's our only play, and everyone's tired of it. We're tired of it. We can't afford it.
Yeah,
we're broke.
At the end of the day, it's nonsense. Because you're gonna sacrifice, in a sense, all these people that have this thought and mindset and raised. I'm American first. Domestic and foreign. But at the end of the day, they're going in and fighting something or fighting for something that is bullshit. All it is we don't have anything else but bombs and a bigger army. So that's what our play is, and
that goes back to Russia, World War I, because Russia enters the war, becomes the Eastern Front against Germany, and they're just throwing people's bodies at it because that's what the monarchy does. They don't, we talk about the Jews talking about the Goyim. Look at how the monarchy views their servants. All right. It's the same mentality. Exactly the same mentality. That's really, I think, sometimes part of the anger is that the one sect is angry at the other sect for being better at being more superior race about. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But that's the world we live in. Yep. And so I forgot where I was going with. I was thinking like we got lizard people, and then we've got the Anunnaki descendants, and then I forgot where I was going with that. But it's because I bought some Jamaican rum.
Mm.
Now, have you ever heard of sipping rum?
No.
Right, that's what right. Isn't that weird? Because of sipping vodkas.
Yeah.
Of sipping whiskeys.
Yeah.
Men brag about that, so how do you like your whiskey? About sipping gins.
Yeah.
Why does no one think of sipping rum?
I don't know. Where'd you get it? Sipping rum.
I tell you what, it tastes a lot like sipping whiskey. Unbearable.
But it sure gets you to where you want to go, huh?
Yeah, well, I just, I was like, because, there's Captain Morgan, right? Everyone knows Captain Morgan. If you want to have diabetes in the next 2 weeks, drink a handle of Captain Morgan. It's just full of sugar and liquor, and mixed with Dr. Pepper is an evil combination.
Yep. Don't even know
I watched a guy, he literally drank a handle of Captain Rum, stand straight up in the garage, of course, and face plant forward. He's just standing there, not alive, for like 5 minutes, and then just face forward, straight as a plank into the tool bench. Yeah. And of course, everyone else was drunk, so we didn't really care. Yeah. I think we all laughed at we made sure he was okay by slapping him.
Yeah. Teabagging him. Just
different times. Different times. I wish we had known about concussions back then, but we didn't.
Poor Mark.
Thanks, NFL.
CTE. Yeah.
Thanks, NFL. Could have known. All right. We have a special guest coming up Wednesday for an interview. Miss Shannon Brown, author from Massachusetts, and this book, Because of Jane, by Shannon Brown. So looking forward to having her on Wednesday to talk about her book. And I love having these authors on. Yeah, just like very interesting takes on the world. They're well thought out. They articulate their thoughts well. You don't get a lot of dead noise with them. I thought C.S. Lark was going to be just like, I thought she was just going to be like, I like writing books and buy my book.
Yeah.
And whole different person. And I think that's great. I think it's nice to see. And who's the Harry Potter chick? The one that wrote Harry Potter?
Oh, yeah. Is it Tolkien or fucking, yeah.
No, that's you're thinking Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, Rowling.
Yeah, sorry. You follow her on Twitter? She gets in full-on Twitter wars. This woman is a warrior. And I think I think women authors are like that. I don't know. They're just not afraid. They're sort of Karens both ways. No offense. Karen is not a derogatory. It was, and I apologize. That's not what maybe a Taryn?
A care.
A care. They care because they're Karen. Karen with a C.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No, we're looking forward to having Shannon Brown on, and then another show Friday night to all of our wonderful callers, all of you cowards that watch this show and are too afraid. Lobo Fish.
I figured he would call in.
I know. We tried goading you in, Lobo. We even I didn't do this one. Landlords love people that will sleep 6 to a bedroom. Yeah.
He ain't lying.
No, that's true, Lobo. It's true. All right. Anything else, May, before we conclude? Happy Friday, everybody. Nice to get a couple clips in. We're done with the Epstein stuff, hopefully, for a bit. We have to figure out.
We control our own destiny. We can be done with whatever, whenever.
Yes.
You remember that.
Here's the thing, though. That's, that is true. But, to what level do we want to be done with this? I'm done, being surprised that there's people on the Epstein list.
True.
I'm not done wanting to see them all hang.
True.
So, I guess, so pick your doneness.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Don't get distracted by the wrong thing. Don't let it become TMZ for you. Don't go there and be like, well, that's how Matt Groening knew to write about the pandemic 15 years before COVID happened. It's because he was best friends and they were jacking off together with some Russian girls, and him and Bill Gates talked about COVID and how cool it would be to kill 15% of the population.
Yeah.
No, that's TMZ stuff. We're past that, right? That's interesting. It's interesting. And you watch the Simpsons movie with a brand new light.
Yeah.
But we're past that. Let's see if we can't get some people hung, or car accidents, however we kill people these days,
it's
secret firing squads, let's just do something. Let's take care of the child, pedos out there. All right. Anything else? Candace Owens still going on fire about Erica Kirk. I really love that. Every day it feels like that woman's posting something. Check that out on Twitter if you want.
Erica Kirk stuff, very. Oh fuck! Yeah.
It's just and I'm not even trying to follow it. It's just every now and then Candace pops up and she's like, "Hey, wait a minute! Just to let you know, here's a video of Erica Kirk doing a bar mitzvah in Israel 2 days after her husband was shot," and you're like, "What?" It's like, well, it was contractual.
Yeah.
Candace, it will not let this go. They might have to kill. They might have to kill her. They might have to kill her.
That is a lot of people's thought. Yeah.
Or she's the new Alex Jones.
Ooh.
Or she's the new Alex Jones. Yeah. Listen, if Alex Jones goes corrupt at the last second, was he really innocent to begin with? Or was he just the best propagandist of the last 3 decades?
Yes.
And he created a huge following, swayed an election, and now that it's all complete, he's got to do a little puppet dance.
I'm going to go with that because that seems to be how things play out. Yeah.
It wasn't accidental he got all that information.
Yeah.
The people that were feeding him that, there's a reason they feed you it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he was getting wrong information. He was getting right information. Alex Jones was right. But why, at some point, the day of reckoning came, and I think we all watched it. It was sad. We're bummed. We miss you, Alex. We hope retirement's good. And now it's time for Candace. And Candace has shown she's got some grit. She took on the French president and his boyfriend, and that's cool. We're happy. And now maybe they're going to feed her Erica Kirk. That'll be her big whoop-to-do. And then from there on, she'll be the one that sneaks out the little, because they're building infrastructure so that when they're not in power, they don't ever have to go through what they went through again with 100%. The Democrats.
Yeah.
That's the Republican stake is. We lost the media. We lost the movie industry. We lost the internet battles. They lost all of the people that were put into these positions of power were politically aligned with the Democrat Party.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got to create their own colleges so they can get into some institutions and accreditations, and then they have to build these institutions up from ground up because the Democrats over the last 40 years took over them.
Stranglehold.
And then went crazy with power. They went crazy with power. And now it's the Republicans' turn to build infrastructure and go crazy. It's this cycle is happening back again. So, we'll find out about, we'll find out about it eventually. Unless we just hang them all. Hang them all. We're all for that.
Start over.
I mean, listen, this is what they want.
All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
My question though is, if we hang them all, what playbook Because you know just how life is. Everything, you have to go back to something to get an itch and to get a start. What Constitution? What's the building block that they truly build the new circle off of?
I think you're right in the
Because this
aspect
playbook
that,
is jack shit. So
yeah, I think you're right. And I don't think we have an answer for that. I don't think we have the right answer for what is the best government to prevent these creepos from retrying this all over again.
Yeah.
I just think it's our responsibility to cleanse it when it comes out.
Yeah.
However that takes place. Like at some point, the oppression becomes, like these guys were cutting off the feet of kids and eating their fleshy parts on a boat before having an orgy.
Yeah.
And that's not like me exaggerating. That's what they said George H.W. Bush did. So,
And is George a lizard or is he alien?
Lizard.
Lizard, yes. Yeah,
Lizard, yeah, definitely lizard. So Schumer, so's Trump.
Because I don't, I don't know. I don't believe I'm an alien or a lizard, so human flesh, I think, might make us, deadly sick, but...
You're goyim.
Yeah,
what you are.
Trash.
Filthy
trash.
goyim. A homiret.
Yes. So I will never taste the fine
Yeah, you don't know.
Of fat.
You're just going to work.
And eat the poison they keep pushing out.
Yeah.
These Doritos sure do taste good, boss. Can I have some more?
You want some more of this Red 40, boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
My picking still doesn't work.
Shannon Brown joining the show. But no, we are looking forward to Shannon Brown. We do clean it up when we have esteemed guests coming on. So, and it is fitting because listen, when you go through, and that's not what this book is about, but when there is abuse like that, these people, I can't imagine listening to our show and having been abused at Epstein Island.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not what this show is about. This show is about coping through an America that we were taught was the best land in the world. And just now, I mean, we knew it. Phantom Factors knew it. But just now, everyone else is realizing that this place is sort of disgusting. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer because I enjoyed having moral high ground above other countries.
Sure did.
Remember how we felt about Saudi Arabia? What losers. Yeah, now they're better. They're better than us.
Yeah. Everybody gets a Lambo.
Yeah. They pay their trafficked kids. We don't even pay ours. We just dump them down a river. Or give them 15% less if they're under the age of 20. Well done. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining the show. That's Phantom Facts for the night. We will be here Wednesday and next Friday. Friday for the Friday call-in show. Thank you, everyone, for calling in. Really appreciate it. May, loved your call-in today. Appreciate you having me around for the entire call. See? Yes.
It was good. Thank you.
Thank
you for not hanging up on me. Thank you.
Yes. Thought about it a few times.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Hey. Sorry, I lost connection.
Yeah.
I'm driving through a tunnel. What?
I'm like that guy with the back screen when he's like running through the park. Except I would never run. What should we talk about next week? I'm sure. I mean, this is just going to be more crazy stuff. I know it. Super Bowl's tomorrow. Any or Sunday? Any predictions before we go?
Seahawks.
Go Hawks.
Yeah.
Go Hawks. Now that Pete Carroll's not there, I'm all Hawks, baby.
Yeah, I think they right their
Hawk right
wrong
there.
from years ago. But I don't know.
They picked the wrong time to do all this. You know, like we got the Super Bowl, and then what distraction do we have after that? We're going to get distracted by NASCAR? I don't think so. Golf?
It'll be the draft. It'll be, they'll drag it along like they do. The NFL's 365 now, so.
It's sickening. All right, May. Thanks for hopping on the show. We'll finish it off with, I think, a little Ben Shapiro.
While we are being served dessert, we have a very special treat for you. Benjamin Shapiro is 12 years old. He'll be accompanied by his father, David. He began training on the violin at age 5. In addition to the violin, he plays chess, loves baseball, completes in track and field. His goal is to become the first Orthodox rabbi to sit on the Supreme Court. Meaning of court will have to close at 3 o'clock on Friday. Also, he wants to be the first to give a concert at Carnegie Hall. However, before all of this, he has to be bar mitzvahed. He will play for us the theme from Schindler's List. Ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin Shapiro.
I wasn't going to do that to you guys. I'm just teasing. No way. Just fun watching a Jew introduce a Jew talking about Jew shit at a presidential dinner party. Isn't that interesting? All right. Have a good night, everybody.
West Nile too. There you go.
Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down a sunny day. Yesterday, days before, sun is cold, rain is high. I know, been that way for all my time. Till forever on it goes, the circle fast and slow. I know, it can't stop, I wonder. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day.
This is the emergency broadcast system. Let's take the wrong investigation.
Podcast for the curious mind. I don't know what that means.